You started to be an online entrepreneur to have a little bit more fun in life, to have the freedom to work where you want at the times that you want. And that's fun. Being an entrepreneur needs to bring joy. But sometimes it's not that funny. Sometimes it's a bit boring. And today we're going to talk about the boring side of building your website. You need 30 minutes for it to do it, but I'm going to make it more easy for you to do. I can't make it more fun, but I can make it more easy for you. I'm Bastiaan the Koning from Jiffy Course Online, and I work with Kajabi since 2014. During the last decade, we helped over 1,100 entrepreneurs to build courses and websites. And if you want to learn how you can build an online business with a 100k revenue, download the Hitchhiker's Guide to 100k with the link below. In this guide, I'll tell you the 6 steps you need to take to get to that 100k with just 3 products and one software platform called Kajabi. Let me take you to the dashboard of Kajabi. In the previous video, we talked about building websites, and that's fun because it's very graphical and you see what you do. Now I'll take you to the settings, and settings are the more boring part of your website, but these settings need to be done at the beginning of your business because your business relies on it. In your Kajabi account, when you click on settings, you'll find 3 sections: the payment sections, site settings, and account settings. I will start with the lower part. The account settings are for your full Kajabi account. If you have multiple websites like I do, I have 8 websites here. These account settings are the same for all those websites. Site settings are specific to every website. So every website on the left side has its own site settings. And also with the payment settings, these are connected to a specific website. So let me just start with the most important part of your Kajabi account, subscriptions. Subscriptions is the place where you can change your Kajabi subscription. You can go to a higher plan, or you can go to a smaller plan if you want to. Or if you don't like Kajabi at all, this is the spot where you can completely cancel your Kajabi account. I hope you don't do it, but if you need to do it, this is where you can. Account details are the settings for Kajabi to know how they can contact you. So here you will find the contact email you use for Kajabi, not the contact email you use for your clients. Sign-in and security gives the option to create a 2-factor authentication. And this is very needed with all those hackers in the world. And a 2-factor authentication, I always use it with an SMS. It sends you a code, you put in the code, and then the next 30 days you are good to go again. An important spot is manage users. At manage users, you can add more admins to your account. So if you have an assistant, you can give this assistant their own login details. You don't need to share your details. And there are 4 roles for your assistants. You have the owner, and the owner has everything. You don't want to give that to an assistant. Then you have the administrator, and this is the role you only give to your most important assistant, the person who can do everything on your website except the payments. They don't have access to your payment details, but they can do anything else. An assistant is the most common role you want to give to someone doing something on your website. And they can modify the content and delete information. Beware about that, but they cannot see your financial details and they cannot change your financial details. Then you have the support specialist, and this is someone who can manage contacts and comments. And unless you have a huge list of people using the comment section, this might be interesting, but I think most of your assistants will have the role of assistant. With an assistant, you also need to select which website they can get access to. If you have multiple websites, this is important. Same with communities, you can select to which community this assistant has access to. The number of assistants you can have is limited. It depends on the plan you're using in Kajabi. I think with Kickstarter and Basic it's just 1, and with Growth it's 3 or 5, and with Pro it's 10 or 20. But if you ran out of roles, you can always suspend the access for someone who's no longer allowed to be on your website. Kajabi wants to send out information to you, and with notification and privacy, you get a huge list when Kajabi can send you a notification about something changing in your website. Well, I think just leave them on because you want to be notified for any change that's important in your account. The public API is a new feature to connect Kajabi with other platforms, and this is only for free in the Pro plan. I think when you're in a lower plan, you need to pay $75 a month to use it. If you want to use it, you also need a platform that uses the public API, and it's pretty technical. I think most people will never find themselves in there. Account tracking, if you don't want Kajabi to track your account, just switch it off and Kajabi accesses something that's no longer in use. So to summarize the account settings, subscription is important if you want to change your Kajabi plan. Account details is the information Kajabi needs to get in contact with you, and manage users is used when you have assistance. All others can be set up for just one time and you'll never come back there. Let me talk about the site settings. As I said before, site settings are site related. So the first part is site details, and this is the spot where you will be, I think, most of the time. Here you have the information that your contacts can see when they contact you, like your support email and maybe your support phone number. You can also select what language your website is. So if you have an English website, all the comments in the website will be English. If you have a Spanish or a Dutch website, the comments will be Dutch. And this is important because some parts in the Kajabi website are changed automatically based on this setting. You have the option to select the default currency, and if you're using Kajabi payments, it's good to do that. Then you have the home page, and you can select whether you want to show the template homepage. This is the website template homepage, or maybe you don't have a website on Kajabi, you only have the library on it. You can send them directly to the library and people are prompted to sign in on your website. You can also send them to a landing page or maybe your store. But if you have a full website on Kajabi, it will be your template homepage. Then you have your branding. Put up your logo, put up your favicon. It is useful because they will add these images directly to your landing and your website pages. Otherwise, you need to do it manually. Then you have a color palette. And I would suggest to add your brand colors here, all the colors you have, and delete the colors you don't need. And then everywhere in Kajabi where you want to set up a color, you can pop up your color palette and find your brand colors. If you want to reset it to the default palette, you can use this one. The instructor is useful to have your image in a course, but you don't need this anymore. This is pretty old. Maybe you have multiple instructors and then you don't want to show this single instructor, and you can build it yourself also. So my suggestion is just leave the instructor empty. Page scripts is more important. These are the header scripts that are on top of every page in Kajabi. So if you want scripts to run on every page, for example, your Google Tag Manager or your Facebook scripts or your Hotjar scripts or maybe styling scripts for your full website, you can put them in here. At the bottom, you have the SEO and the branding. Fill in this information. It's good for Google to know who you are and how they can show you in the search results. At the bottom, you have Kajabi branding, and this places the text powered by Kajabi on the bottom of the website. It's very small. If you're in Kickstarter or Basic, you can't hide it. In Growth and Pro, you can hide it, but it's not really important. What is important is something that was hidden till now. It's the red button at the right side bottom of your website. It says delete site. Never use this, because if you select the delete site button, it will delete your full website. It will delete your products. It will delete your sales. It will delete your website pages. It will delete your contacts. It will delete everything. Never use it because you can't get the information back. And if you did, make sure to contact Kajabi as soon as possible, and maybe they can put the Kajabi website back for you, but I can't tell you this. Okay, don't use it. Coming back to the site settings. Under domain, you can set up your custom domain for Kajabi, and I will create a full video how to do that with Kajabi. With marketing settings, this is the information you need to put in, and it will be displayed on every email you send out. So put the address in here that is public for your business. When you scroll down, you have the option to add in a company logo. Don't do that because they will put it on every email and it's huge. Just leave it empty. You can do it anywhere you want to. And you can use the Kajabi email domain or a custom email domain, but it is only possible if you set up your custom domain too. So that's why it's not filled in here. And at the bottom, you can select at what time an email sequence will be sent out by default. Kajabi can send a lot of information to your customers directly from the system. And these are email templates, system emails. And you can look at them, and it's a huge list of all kinds of mails Kajabi can send to your customers. For example, an offer grant confirmation. Kajabi will send this email when you grant an offer to someone and you don't deselect this email. I always do that. What you see is plain text, there's some code in it, and if you have an English website, just leave it like this. But if your website is in a different language like Dutch, you need to translate it. And for the Dutch people, we've translated all these emails and you can just copy and paste them. If you're working in a different language, you just need to change all these texts here and make it your own. I think this is the most boring part of being here in your settings. But the fun part is when you're English, you can just leave it. Then we have some settings that just need attention once. Drip is when you drip your content in a course, you can select the time for that drip. Blog settings, you can put in the SEO information for your blog. Don't forget to do it if you're using blogs. Form settings is more important. Forms are used to gather information from your clients, and they always need to fill in a form with an email address. When they fill in the email address, you know who the person is, and you can ask more questions like name or phone or address. But you can also add custom fields like your company name, or if you have a contact form, ask your question. Normally you will never be here, but if you want to find a field and change it, you can find it here. Under integrations and webhooks, you can integrate with different platforms like email integrations or integrate with Instagram, Facebook. These are new. Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel. You can connect with PayPal, or they call it a third-party payment provider, but actually this is just Stripe. If you're using Thrivecart or our link to pay, that's also third-party payment providers. You won't find them here and you don't get the fees they're talking about. There are a few more settings to talk about. First are the app settings. Kajabi has a global app, and in this app your courses will be showcased if people download the app and sign up with their email address. For your account, you can upload an icon, you can use a QR code, so people can automatically log into your Kajabi mobile app. That's new. And you have a color palette to change the styling of your courses in the global app a little bit. There's not much you can do here. If you want to have your own branded app, that's also possible. And the branded app is an app Kajabi can build for you in your styling. And if you want to see how the branded app looks like, you can download our branded app at the Apple Store or the Google Store. Just search for Jiffy Courses online and download the branded app, and you will see how we use it. And we use it mainly for testing, but it gives a good overview how personalized an app can be. Then we have labs, and you might find options here that are in beta. And we have member sign in and security. And this is also a new option. People can able to log in with Google. You can select it, test it, how it works. I haven't used it so far, but it might be interesting that people can just log in with Google for your courses. As I told you, it's a lot, and maybe it's the most boring part of Kajabi, but you have a good overview what to do with all the settings. On top we have the payment settings. There will be a different video where we set up the payment settings and how to use the checkout and stuff like that. So that's not for this video. If you don't have Kajabi and you want to try out Kajabi, you can use the link below. And you will also get our launch pack. This will include our launch path trainings. That's a full video training to build a 100-figure business in Kajabi. You get all the templates you need to build a website. You get the swipe copy for your funnels. You get access to our community. And if you become a paying customer for Kajabi, we have 2 special bonuses for you. If you haven't done it so far, like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I can keep you posted when something new is coming out. And don't forget to download the Hitchhiker's Guide to 100K. This is it. I'm Bastiaan the Koning. In the next video we're going to talk about how to connect your custom domain to Kajabi.